What's up, party people? Welcome to Exposed. I'm your girl, April Rose. It's Winning Wednesday. And this Wednesday, we're going to talk about winning strategically. No matter where or what you are trying to win, these same principles are going to apply. In love, career, business, or if you're just simply trying to win in life in general. We're going to talk about 7 key factors that will increase your wins and have you winning strategically. So first, what does it mean to win? My favorite definition of the word win is to succeed by striving or effort. To succeed by striving or effort. In order to win, you have to not just put in effort, but you also have to put in hard effort. You have to exert yourself. You should be tired after you win. There should be adrenaline pumping through your veins. Your heart should be racing. You should be exasperated. You should be out of breath, either physically, mentally, or emotionally, depending on what game it is you're trying to win. We see these athletes like LeBron, KD, or Russell Westbrook doing their interviews on the court after the game ends. They're out of breath. Are you in chill mode after your game? If you all relaxed and rested, you didn't just win, boo. So let's get into it. I am not going to keep it cute with you today. Are you willing to lose? That's number 1. Are you willing to lose? In order to win, you have to be willing to risk losing. When Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Mike Trout, or A-Rod, for those of you who don't know who Mike Trout is, I certainly don't know who he is. I just know he's number 1 in the MLB right now. Anywho, when they show up to the game, they are willing to lose. They want to win, but they know that this can only go one of 2 ways. Somebody is going to lose, and it just might be them. But they still show up. Losing at some point is so important. If you've never lost, I don't even want you talking to me about winning. You can't teach me about winning, in my opinion. Look, I recently read a book called The Art of the Start 2.0. And in it, the author is talking about this guy who is one of the top experts in entrepreneurship and business startups. This guy is not even willing to work with you if you haven't had at least 2 failed business ventures. Why? Because our best lessons are in our losses. When we learn things in our losses, like next time, maybe we should adjust our defense. Maybe we should adjust our offense. Maybe we should trade some players. Next time, maybe we should practice more. Maybe we need to get a new coach. Or even, sometimes we learn we need to switch games. Didn't work out for Michael Jordan. I'm just saying. But even those with undefeated records in the pros lost prior to making it to the pros. And how did they make it? Their losses propelled them. So I am encouraging you to allow your losses to propel you. Don't run from them. Don't think of them in a negative way. Think of each loss or failure as a springboard, boom, to a win. You can't win them all, but you won't win any if you never risk losing. Now, let's get real. Some people are out here fake winning, right? You see them in your timeline. Some people are winning with that Ashton Kutcher kind of win. Like, are we being punked into believing that you are winning? Have you ever had that dream where you win a huge lottery. I have this dream all the time, guys. So that's why I'm going here. But have you ever had that dream where you win a huge lottery and everything is so great, and then you wake up to the worst feeling of disappointment? Is that the kind of winning you're doing? An imaginary or delusional win? Anybody can win, but can you win gracefully? Can you win with humility? Can you win with poise? Can you win with wisdom? Can you win collaboratively? Can you win with integrity? In other words, can you win without cheating? Sometimes even cheaters win, yes. So until you can lose gracefully, until you can lose with humility, lose with poise, lose with wisdom, lose without cheating, and also learn from your losses, you can't truly win, boo. That's a fake win. But once you can appreciate your losses, you will win better. You will win different. Like Jay-Z brags different. Y'all didn't think I knew about that, did you? Don't sleep on me. So the point is, you can't win if you don't show up to the game. And you won't show up to the game unless you're willing to risk losing. So that's number one. Be willing to risk losing because it's all good. All right, next. Celebrate other people's wins. What we celebrate, we imitate. And guys, excuse my voice. It is really trying to cut out of here today. But I will not stop and I will not let you down by not showing up where I'm supposed to be. So here I am with this terrible voice. But what we celebrate, we imitate. Why do we celebrate things? We celebrate things because we believe in them, right? We celebrate something when it excites us. We celebrate things that make us feel good inside. We celebrate things that we feel are worthy of being honored. And in turn, we draw that celebratory energy to us. Let me tell you something about me. I'm an empath. I feel other people's emotions. And sometimes being an empath feels like such a blessing. Then at other times it can feel like a small curse. But because I'm an empath, when I see somebody win, I honestly feel like I won. So I celebrate their wins as if I actually won. But on a more selfish note, let me be honest, I'm also thanking God quietly that they made it to the front of the winning line. So now I just moved a spot closer to my win, right? So celebrate other people's wins. It gets you closer to your win, and you will win more often when you do. So that's number 2. Celebrate other people's wins. Number 3, drowning out opposing fans. This one's big. In order to win, you have to leave behind opposing fans. This is how teams can win games on the opposing team's court. When a team is playing on another court or field, that can be pretty doggone intimidating, especially with the majority of the crowd rooting against them and rooting for the opposing team. They have to be able to tune out the haters. They have mastered actually tuning out the naysayers. Let's think about David and Goliath, right? This is why David was able to go right up to Goliath on the turf he was standing on, the exact same turf, and defeat him because he drowned out the naysayers. He ignored all those people that I'm sure advised against this, right? I mean, even David's brother was like, "What did you come down here for? You just came down here to be nosy." I'm paraphrasing, of course. But if you want, you can read the whole story in 1 Samuel chapters 16 and 17. The fight happens in 17, but 16 and 17. But anyway, the king told him, "You can't fight him. You're just a kid. He's a seasoned soldier." Still paraphrasing, of course. But can you imagine how many other people were like, "David, don't think this is a good idea." But David was like, who is this guy that he can go up against the living God? David had confidence in what he was fighting for. If what you are fighting for is worth it, then you'll do what you have to do to take down the giant. So, what is your giant? What is taunting you? What is that voice in your head telling you that you can't do? Why is it telling you that you're going to lose? What's its reasons? How is it telling you that you're going to lose? Let me tell you a secret. That voice in your head is a bully. And we all know how to back down a bully. Face it head on. Now, let's not get it twisted. I'm sure David knew there was a possibility he might lose, but he came to win, and that was reflected in his attitude. He was the youngest and the smallest. Didn't let that stop him. He wasn't even a part of the camp. Didn't stop him. Every single odd was against him. Didn't stop him. David faced the biggest bully head on. But David also knew a secret. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And he was strategic. Goliath had a javelin and was in full body armor, guys. I'm talking about from head to toe. Like his legs were even covered. Full body armor. So he probably was expecting some big guy to come and try to go toe to toe with him and have his own javelin or his own sword. But David thought outside the box. And he won with a stone and a sling, the element of surprise. Let's remember, guys, there is no such thing as a fair fight or a fair game. We have to be prepared to improvise, to use what we've got to be victorious. Sometimes all you've got to do is sling a rock. Sometimes all you got is a foot. Trip them. Sometimes all you got is teeth. Bite their ear off. No, but seriously. This is one of the reasons why I love action movies. It's one of my favorite genres because there's always the last fight, right? Everybody puts down their knives and their guns. They man up and they fight hand to hand, toe to toe. It's so exciting, right? But it usually ends by the victorious one doing some extraordinary move, using something that most people would not have even considered to be a weapon. I've got so many scenes running through my head right now, but I don't want to get us off track and keep you here all night. But you get the point. Be that fighter. Be the one who wraps the chain that's hanging from the ceiling around the neck of the voice that's telling you you can't do it and choke the life out of it. Who can guess what TV show that one's from? I'll wait. But back to David. The Israelites had listened to that taunting from Goliath for 40 days. 40 days. He stood out there taunting them. And nobody went up against him. In fact, they ran from him. So I am going to say, because of David right now, so what? So what you're dark-skinned? So what you're light-skinned? Who cares? So what you're short? So what you're tall? So what you're not as pretty as them? So what you've got freckles? So what you have a learning disability? So what you stutter? So what you're down 35 to 0? So what you lost last time? So what I'm fat? So what my voice is different? You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Excuse the excuses. Show them the door. Gotta go. Bye-bye. If there's one thing that you're going to give up on, let it be giving up. Don't be like a regular Israelite, listening to the taunting, or even worse, running from the bully in your head, or even the bully in real life. In the face of stress, chaos, hardship, against all odds, slay, like David. So that's number 3. Slay like David by drowning out opposing fans. Number 4, a winning attitude. Okay, so we all know the saying, attitude determines your altitude. I always say it wrong. Well, I'm here to tell you, Attitude not only determines your altitude, but it also maintains your elevation. Boom. A winning attitude opens doors that otherwise will be shut. No. Not just shut. Locked. Altitude is the, I'm sorry. Attitude, not altitude, is the key. And not just any key, but the master key. If my emotions are always negative, there's no way that I can expect positive things to happen for me. That simply goes against science. And a winning attitude begins with gratitude. And gratitude is simply gratefulness, marrying attitude. You know how these celebrity couples are combining their names now and making it one name, like Kim Ye and Brangelina, and who can forget Bennifer? Not how long ago was that? Not even together anymore. But think of gratitude as a combination like those combinations. So it's gratefulness, marrying attitude, right? And when you live with gratitude, you're marrying gratefulness to your attitude. Bear with me, guys. Which leads to a winning attitude. The law of attraction is so powerful. And for those of you who think mindfulness is some type of hocus pocus stuff like my husband, he always says that, it's actually scriptural. As a man thinketh, so is he. That is basically what the law of attraction is, right? As a man thinketh, so is he. And you'll be surprised how taking a couple of minutes every day just to do some inventory of all the things you have to be thankful for and actually giving thanks for those things will not only marry gratefulness to your attitude, but also change your entire life for the better. So earlier today, I was out taking care of some business, and the girl at the front desk started to make small talk with me, right? While we were waiting on some paperwork to scan. She goes, "How's your day going so far?" And I said, "My day's going great. I woke up on this side of the grave today." She laughed and she was like, "That's a new one. I never heard that before." I told her, well, no matter how my day is going and no matter what's going on, it could be much worse. Because I really didn't have to wake up on this side of the grave today. So many people didn't. And that is literally the biggest blessing each of us got today. My day wasn't going bad, but let's not go crazy. There are a lot of negative things I could have dwelt on, but I could have chose to dwell on, right? But the key word there is chose. I choose to dwell on great things and the things I'm grateful for. Great begets great begets great. So if all you have to be grateful for is that that you woke up on this side of the grave, then give thanks for that. But I guarantee you, if you look around and take inventory, there's so much more you have to be grateful for. And whenever I feel my mood taking a dive, that's exactly what I do. We all experience hardships and not so good days, right? There are days that I simply want to crawl up in a ball and talk to nobody. I go, "Come on, April Rose. What do you have to be grateful for?" And I begin to take inventory. And within minutes, my winning attitude is back. So that's number 4. Own your winning attitude. Don't just lease it, boo. All right. Number 5, fighting in faith. Y'all know I'm a believer and a follower of Christ. Not a typical one, but I am one. I do and say some things that may be questionable to most Christians, but I keep it real with God, and that's what matters to me. He knows me better than anybody, and he knows I need much work, but he also knows that I genuinely love him for who he is. He is also the only one who can judge or condemn me, so it doesn't bother me, what people think. I digress. There's no way, though, that I can win without a foundation. There's no way that you can win without a foundation. A sure, sturdy, strong foundation. By the way, speaking of foundation, be sure you check out my video from last week, The Root Cause. It talks about how to rebuild a great foundation for yourself. But no matter what foundation you're standing on, you need it to be secure. It has to be able to hold you in order for you to be able to win. So, your foundation is what you put your faith in. Your faith gives you confidence, right? Your foundation is what you put your faith in. In turn, your faith gives you confidence. Okay, so say we're in the middle of a gym together, you and I ask you to jump in the air with your hands in the air, right? It's all good, no problem, right? Okay, so now imagine we're standing on a huge deck, a big deck, and I ask you again to jump in the air, put your both hands in the air. Still all good, right? But what if I ask you to stand on top of me and all this fluffing while I'm laying on the floor and do the same thing? Maybe not so much, right? Or even worse, what if you didn't know how to swim and I asked you to jump into the deep part of the ocean with your hands in the air? Now it's getting real. Now the exercise never changed. When you were on the gym floor or on the deck, you were confident. But when I simply adjusted your foundation, you no longer had the confidence to do it. It's the same thing with your faith. If there is nothing bigger than you, nothing outside of you bigger than you that can secure you, you won't have the confidence to fight the good fight. You're already at a disadvantage when you step into the ring, and I can promise you, there are so many things that I've accomplished and tried that I would have never tried if it would not have been for God on my side as my foundation. That was a song, right? If it had not been... Okay, I'm not going to sing. But because my foundation was so solid, I was able to take the worst punches and recover. Now, when my faith was shaky, so was my footing, and I got knocked down and out on the regular. So that's number 5. Have a solid foundation on which to stand and fight with faith in your foundation. All right? Number 6, make conditions conducive to winning. So last week we also talked a little bit about making conditions conducive in order for certain things to happen. Things don't just happen. For instance, in order to start a fire, you need 4 elements. I don't know why I remember this. Science was my least liked subject in school, especially chemistry. But if you don't have fuel, oxygen, heat, and a chemical reaction, you won't have a fire. It's impossible. You can't just say, let there be fire. You aren't God. That would be nice, actually, maybe. Well, maybe not with the fire bugs that I know. Hi, Star. But even if you had those 3 things, 3 of those things, right? Say you had the fuel, the chemical reaction, and the oxygen, but no heat. You still won't be able to start a fire because one of the necessary elements is missing. So the point is, if we want to achieve a desired result, we have to make conditions conducive to that result. And I'm going to go back to athletes because they're great visuals. So let's say Floyd Mayweather is scheduled to have a professional fight in 90 days, right? And so for 89 days, he's sitting on his couch watching TV, eating butter pecan ice cream, eating cake, eating pies, eating french fries and burgers and peach cobbler and pizza and... Wait, am I naming all of my favorite foods? I think so. Anyway, he's sitting on the couch. He's eating all this stuff, flicking the remote between the Housewives of Atlanta and Love and Hip Hop, talking about, I'm going to the gym tomorrow. Now, it's day 90. Floyd has gained 20 pounds of fat. He has not practiced his craft not one day, has not laid eyes on a punching bag, and his bones are stiff from sitting so much. What do you think is about to happen to Floyd? Sorry, Floyd, in case you watch, I know you wouldn't do that. But successful athletes are always doing what is proven to increase their chances of winning, no matter if they are number one in their leagues. They are eating like they want to win. They are working out like they want to win. They are meditating like they want to win. They are sleeping like they want to win. They are waking up like they want to win. Whatever it may be for them, they are willing to do that. No matter how uncomfortable, no matter how painful, no matter how inconvenient it may feel, they know that if they want to start a fire, they can't leave out the fuel. They can't say, oh, well, I'm going to try it without the oxygen. Oh, well, it just doesn't work that way. Now, don't get confused now. I'm not telling you that if you don't have every single little piece that you think you need to win, not to play the game, don't let something trivial be an excuse for you to tap out of the game. What I'm saying is know exactly what is needed for your win, because everybody's win is different. My win may not be the same as your win. Sally Sue's win is not the same as your win. So let me sneak that in real quick. Stop looking at Sally Sue. Y'all are not even playing the same sport. Alright? Use what you have to begin to build the conducive conditions for your win. So if all you have is some heat, be dedicated to getting some fuel. And once you have the fuel, don't let anything stop you from getting your chemical reaction. No matter what, never turn back from your win until you have lost. And if you do just happen to lose, start back at one. I know I said I wasn't going to sing. I can't sing. But that's number 6. Make your conditions conducive to your win, not Sally Sue's. All right? We're almost done, and I'm so sad that it's almost time for me to leave you. But number 7 is probably the most important, yet the most simple. Okay? Number 7, show up. Enough said. I'm just joking. But no, not really. If I didn't say one more word, show up is literally enough. But if you don't even go to the game, there's no way you're going to win. If I say, I'm going to go to the store, right? But I never turn the doorknob, never push the door, I'm not going to make it to the store. And like turning the knob and opening the door, I have to walk out the door, I have to get in my car, I have to put the keys in the ignition, I have to start the car, I have to put the car in drive, I have to take my foot off of the brake, I have to put my foot on the gas. I'm going to need to steer the car safely in the direction of the store until I'm there. And I must, so important also, obey the traffic signs and yield to certain traffic on my journey, right? Until I'm at the store. But until I'm at the store, I still haven't showed up. So the point I'm making is that there is probably a process of steps involved in your showing up. But if you miss one of those steps, you won't end up at the store. You might end up still at home. Or you might end up sitting in your car. Or you might end up standing in the middle of the street. Or if you steer your car in the wrong direction, you might end up at the park. So the steps in your showing up is very vital. Alright, so guys, thank you so much for watching. I am humbled. I appreciate you. Remember to subscribe, comment, like, and share so you don't miss my Monday motivation videos. And follow me on Facebook at April The Rose, that's THEE, and on Instagram at April the Rose, that's THE, so that you can get my Friday Night Live video as well. All right. Until next time, win, 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 and win again. And even when you lose, you win.